following presentation is for educational purposes only. All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.
All right, we are back. We have our second installment of Meet the Team. Remember, the first installment we had a couple of weeks ago was with the CEO of NinjaTrader, Martin Franke, and now we have the second most important guy in the whole organization. I've known Joe for a long time. Joe Sabatello is a senior director of engineering. He's a tech guy. All right, I don't know what his title means. It's fancy. It sounds good. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jim. I appreciate you having me.
No, thanks for being here. How's everything going in Chicago these days?
Well, last night was a little rough with those storms, but we're getting through. It's supposed to be nice, clear skies going forward. So,
No, that's good. Hopefully nobody got hurt.
no, I think it was so far so good. So,
Yeah, yeah. So we see a lot of streets are a little rough sometimes. You got to pay attention.
keep your head on a swivel sometimes, they say, right?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So, so Joe, we've known each other for a while, right? You were really young when you first showed up at Transact. What year was that?
That was 2015. So
Okay,
it aligns
2015.
with my wedding anniversary to make it easy to remember. It was right after 2014, 2015 I started. Graduated college in 2010 from Purdue University. Have to, pays my dues to Purdue, boiler up. And I've been in the industry ever since. So for 15 plus years, I've been in the futures trading, seen the proprietary trading side of it, which is really exciting. Working with market makers, understanding that side of the business, and then going to transact with retail.
Yeah, I was at your wedding, by the way.
Yes, I recall. That was
It was a great wedding reception. It was crazy fun.
yeah, no, it was a great time. Just time flies. It's crazy. 3 kids later.
You're a pretty good dancer.
It's I probably can't do what I used to do back in the day, but I could bust a move.
All right. So you were at Transact, but before Transact, you also had some tech experience, right? So before you got to Transact, you graduated from Purdue, Boilermakers, and then you were in this business kind of, right?
Yeah, so out of college or going in, I had interned with a proprietary trading firm called WH Trading, which I started full time from 2010 to before I went to Transact. So at the end of 2014, that was you worked really closely with market makers, real high frequency trading that you hear about. Very obviously risk adverse, dealing with back office. Clearing trades, and then just helping with strategies for these traders. So it allowed me to get a better understanding of the industry from the market maker standpoint. And then going into retail, it's completely different.
So, all right. So explain to us what high frequency really is, right? We hear it every once in a while. When I'm talking about the NinjaTrader platform, I still talk in terms of transaction and data feeds in milliseconds. What's high frequency mean?
Yeah, we're talking microseconds, even nanoseconds with this. So it's acting, you're trying to slow down the data that's coming in to be readable. If you want to think of it as you take a look at yourself and how you react to the screen based on what's going on, certain events, you're trying to put that into almost in an AI sense, logic that sits there and can see everything that comes through the feed within microseconds to be able to make those decisions that you would do on your own, but you're just not fast enough to be able to click. So that's where the high frequency is all about.
Okay, so high frequency requires automation. There's no question about that.
Correct. Correct. And then
Okay.
it's being able to handle the risk of, because it's not a guaranteed, obviously, if there's a strategy that's supposed to buy something and then sell something else, it doesn't always work like that. So I think a lot of people think that there's always the edge. And in terms of, from a retail standpoint, you're in it for somewhat of a little bit longer. You're not doing the high frequency, and things can occur where then a trader needs to get involved to help offset it.
I see. Okay, I gotcha. So, okay, so after that experience, which
Mhm.
sounds like great experience, by the way, because you're dealing with data, right? You're dealing
Yes.
with, there's, and we could talk about this too. The way I explain it is because I don't really know the details, but there's two pipes, if you will. There's the data feed, right? You're getting data from somewhere, an
Yes.
exchange through a vendor, an ISV, or maybe you're the ISV. And then there's the execution pipe, right? Where trades are coming back and forth to the exchange.
Yes.
Do I have that? Is that an accurate
Yeah, those
description?
are the two pipes. So the market data, and thinking of how the CME operates, they have their market data feed that you listen to. There's redundancies in case of an event of something going wrong. It's always it's not if it goes wrong, it's when. So being able to prepare and switch over. So for market data comes in, and then the order routing feed, being able to place orders to and from the exchange, making sure that you're in sync, making sure that that the messages that they're expecting and the ones that they're sending back to you, you're expecting. And if there's ever a disconnect, to making sure that you're able to recover properly and handle everything that's coming in.
And so the messages, that's like, buy one at this price, and it has a timestamp on it, and it has an order ID on it and a bunch of other data. That's a message, right?
Yeah, yeah. So when a customer places an order, and it doesn't matter if you're at a proprietary trading firm, or if it's high frequency, or if you're click trading on the screen, it's all the same. So when you place an order, it goes to the exchange, and the exchange acknowledges that it received that order.
Yeah.
And then when you modify, it goes in, they modify that it was, or they respond back. And then when the trade happens, you just get the trade that comes back.
Yeah. And with the NinjaTrader platform, and to some extent the Transact platform, it's a miracle. It's a miracle that this information transfer was not only so fast, but so accurate.
Yeah, that's I guess the best part about what we do is we get to see, as we build these applications out, and as we deal with so much data that comes in, we can see the end result right then and there of us processing and handling everything properly.
Okay, so 2015. Now you're at Transact, which is was a non-clearing FCM, and
Yes.
that's where we met. I was part of that organization also, and now you're dealing with retail traders. So you have
Yes.
probably have a similar mission, but how did it differ?
It was very, surprisingly, while the system, underneath the hood was all the same, right? Market data and order routing. It shifts into, now you're dealing with a customer, or now you're working with, I should say, a customer, as opposed to a trader who you worked directly with at another firm. So it's all about that customer experience with retail. It's not for high frequency trading. It doesn't need to look good. It doesn't need to be easy. And they just want to be able to, the traders want to be able to plug in numbers and let it run. For retail, now you're really taking in the user experience. How do they interact with the system? How do we explain what's going on? Because there's a lot that goes on, and we're trying to make it a better experience for the customer.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I started, I was actually started my career right when online trading kicked off, right? We had NASDAQ level 2 platforms were popping up left and right. And back then, though, there was on a daily basis, something went down, right? Not getting data, platform crashed. You fast forward to Ninja now, and that's rarely does that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that from stories I hear back in the day of retail, having outages was, it sounds like it was somewhat of a norm. Nowadays, with what technology has to offer, with the redundancies that are built in, it's Yeah, we try to stay on top of it, so we're able to be alerted when there's an outage. We're able to, switch over, and so we see hiccups or anything like that, and it should be a seamless process to the customer.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And so I think our experience is pretty good, by the way. So, but let's kind of keep with the timeline. So now we're working with non-clearing FCM, Transact, and catering toward retail folks, developing the platform, integrating charts in it, and all that stuff. We didn't have our own charts. We were using some other folks' charts, right? I think it was Sierra Chart or something like that. And
Towards
we
the
had
end,
even
we had our own, but yeah, that's
yeah, but until the end, we it added another moving part,
yes.
another place where data and trades could go through, which must have made that way harder for you.
Yeah, you're referring to using a third-party charting
Yeah,
software. Is that
yeah,
yeah? So you have your own system. You've made it your own. It's all built with it in-house. So you understand how data comes in from the exchange, what you're doing with that data, and then how you're presenting that data to the front end. Now you're introducing a third party, different set of engineers. They have their ways of doing things. So you're trying to work with them to make sure that now their experience is just as good, because it's,
hmm
they're trying to listen to your API, and that is, you're trying to allow them to feel confident and comfortable with the data that they're getting. And so you work really that you almost see them as a retail customer, even though they're not, it's not the end result or end product of what's on the screen, but it's what they're getting in. And so now you want to have a good experience with those customers, or with that customer of third party, to be able to have a high quality product, because at the end of the day, it's all circled around the brand.
yeah. And I'll be honest, there was some turbulence
Always, yeah, absolutely. There was.
through that process.
Yes, there
All
was.
right, all right. So now you have several years of experience with the retail platform, with retail traders, getting money, getting data back and forth from the exchange. And then Ninja comes in. NinjaTrader bought us basically,
Yes.
and for some reason they decided to keep me on. I have no idea why, but they definitely needed to keep you on, right? Because you had that great experience level so far, and so now you're at Ninja. You have to learn a brand new everything, right? How challenging was that as part of your learning curve?
It's not only just a brand new. I mean, that's where it was really exciting with that acquisition. NinjaTrader, it was 5 years ago, they had the best front end, and it was really great to see, a great product in terms of what, Transact had, and another great product, so bringing those two together was a very exciting time. The biggest, at the end of the day, everything under the hood operates very similar. It was more so, NinjaTrader, they so many more accounts than what we had at Transact. And so it was really, okay, how do we scale now this system up to be able to handle all these customers? And we've done a great job from a back office perspective of clearing customer trades, taking in customer transactions, fees, and then generating customer statements. So
Right. Well, let's talk. That's another level that people don't think about, right? It's there not only is there a transaction server going on and there's a data feed going on, but the customer creates a ledger, right? The customer is placing trades and is buying and selling and having sometimes open positions at different prices. And that gets translated, has to go to, I'm assuming, a database somewhere, which could be turned into a statement at the end of the day.
yes. As we, being a non-clearing FCM, non-clearing means we do not have seats at the exchange. We go through we go through a clearing FCM, but we still hold a lot of the risk of what an FCM has. So at the end of the day, we are, I've always explained it as we are backing each of our customers to the exchange that says, hey, this guy's good for his money. And in the event that there's an issue, we will be able to be there to back him up. And so as we monitor what customers are doing and taking in all their trades and all their transactions, at the end of the day, it's just a credit, a debit, a deposit, or a withdrawal that the customer does. And we're able to handle that, process it, and then put it on the customer statement.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's got to be accurate, right? And it's got to be on
100%.
time, and it's got to be every day.
Yeah, the regulatory aspect of the FCM is massive, and so we have eyes on our processes 24/7 to make sure everything flows in. The team does a great job making sure everything runs smooth. They work, from a developer standpoint, we work very closely from the FCM side with the business stakeholders, with the treasury teams, with the FinOps teams to make sure everything looks good. And so at the end of the day, customers are able to get their statement and we're able to do the regulatory reporting that we're required to do.
So on that note, I mean, at Transact, you didn't have a very deep team. But
No,
I'll admit it now. I mean, we didn't have a
it's
deep tech team, right?
not very deep. No.
And now, but it's way different now, right? And Ninja's an organization where if we need resources, let's go out and get resources and get good resources, right? So now you're in a you have a great team around you.
Yeah, it's been exciting. The team that we have, Transact being small, and I felt, NinjaTrader's been small, and then with the acquisition of Tradeovate, you have these I like to call them three big powerhouses. Maybe they don't think that for Transact, but that in the industry that were small, now they've come together to create this great product. And so now we've got, larger development teams and to be able to, I've always said is, and we're always trying to bring on more talent. I could teach you futures, I could teach you the industry, but to, be able to get up every morning and get to work, it's that drive. So now we have more communications. We can, talk, throw ideas off each other. Where before we didn't have that capability necessarily. It was really me and someone else that we would sit there. What do you think? Well, we could argue and bicker, and then that was it. There was no third person to come in to break the tie.
Yeah, it's amazing. I look at I look at the internal website and we hired these guys. These guys are new. These guys are new.
Yeah,
These guys are
it's
new.
crazy.
And it keeps going and going and going. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But you mentioned you mentioned Tradeovate. How hard was that to shuffle that into the deck?
It was different only because of now again, so to go to that, third party technology we were discussing, you go into now we're bringing in another set of or another infrastructure, and it was different than we've seen, and it's it's truly remarkable what has been built on that side. It's the scalability. Um, it's just more so getting used to the different terms. It's almost like speaking a different language. At the end of the day, it's you know what you need to do and you know how to say certain things, but just translating it to that other side is what makes it, I guess, a learning curve. And so but it's been great. It's been very impressive, the amount of data that system can handle, especially with all the users that we have on it.
Right. So, but now you have like three ways to trade, right? You got the mobile,
Yep.
you got the web-based, you have the classic desktop, the NinjaTrader desktop, and then all those transactions have to be filtered to the same place and all reconciled in real time, hitting statements, send it to the regulators, all of that stuff. That must have been hard to accomplish.
That we try to from a reconciling purpose, we want to make sure that the system is always humming in sync. And so with our trading platform and the back end services that are happening, those trades are being sent, or the orders are being sent in from the customers going to the exchange, and then trades are occurring. And on the back end side, it's completely separate in terms of how the back office gets its trades. And what we're doing is we're consistently reconciling throughout the day, every second, to make sure that everything is in sync, and that if we do see a slight of something, we're able to notify, get everybody involved, and resolve the issue. So it's been great to implement.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. I just thinking about all the moving parts, what we went through on a smaller scale at Transact, on a huge scale right now. I don't know how many I do know how many customers NinjaTrader has. A lot,
Yeah.
way more than we ever had at Infinity Transact. And so now you have all this additional pressure in the system, right? Pressure for data, pressure for execution. What's the hardware like, compared to what it was?
Well, and that's what's nice is, scaling it, making sure that it's able, it's not only is it hardware, but it's also software, right? I mean, there's a lot of, as a lot of industries move towards the cloud, that kind of, you don't have to think about the hardware as much. Obviously, there's underlying servers that are up there that you can set, but from a physical data center to the cloud allows you to be more dynamic in terms of the hardware. The data center is, you're stuck with the hardware you have because you don't have, you can't wait 2 weeks for a new server to come. So what you do is, okay, how do we optimize this code now? We got to change the way we're doing things because it's not working. So it's a balance. But it makes it a lot easier. So the hardware that we have in the data center is definitely beefed up. It has to be. And then for our back end trading services, it's also it's there for us it allows us to scale a lot more.
Isn't the cloud just it's a computer somewhere, right? People kind of forget that. It's like
It's a data center. Yeah. And that's the idea, is that you've got we have obviously a physical data center space, and we also have the cloud, which is a data center region based on how the provider breaks it up for you. So essentially it is, but it's a different mindset of thinking, which took me a while, right? I'm there, we did everything. It was hardware, buy the server, this much disk space, put it in the rack, connect it to here. You don't have to really think about that in the cloud. And that's what's really nice. Hey, we need to scale up. Great. Boom. We got it. It's there. It's on demand.
So how do I place a trade, a market order. I get filled before I could blink. How could it be so fast?
Wow, I've never been asked that before.
Joe, it's a miracle to me.
It is truly impressive, obviously, how the system, especially with the matching engine such as this at the exchange, such as what CME has on how fast data moves. A lot of it is when you go to click, the data moves. There's so much data that comes in. You see it on your screen. You're trying to get ready to click, and really by the time you click, it's old news, and we're talking microseconds of what's going on. But that's just so the amount of processing speed that the exchanges have to be able to take in and just think, we're one end of their spoke, right? Of
Yeah.
a system that's coming into their clearing engine. And it's just with technology today and the advancements of different metals and things of that to get processing speed faster, networks to be able to transmit data quicker. It's truly impressive.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. I mean, are one of these days, are we going to be able to just kind of blink at a screen and boom, we place a trade?
That would
Is
be
it going to
wild.
get, is it
That
going to
would
get
be
to that?
wild. You just think about it and it can happen. So
Yeah. Right click, right
right.
blink, limit order,
And
left
then
blink,
just
stop
close your
loss.
eyes, control delete, and then you can restart your.
Yeah. So the other thing that I always wondered is, our technology, like our laptops, our PCs, our phones, these things are always being upgraded. These things are always getting, fancier and fancier. Is that a continual challenge for you guys to keep up with the newest release of something?
Absolutely. We want to make sure that as Apple comes out with their new phones, or if Androids, I really think those are really two. No one does a BlackBerry anymore. As those devices get upgraded and new OSs come out, that we're on top of it, that nothing breaks. We try to read the release notes to see what's changing, how the libraries are going to get modified, and so then it's a seamless user experience, so there's no hiccups.
Libraries meaning the
Yeah,
air, the compartments where data is stored.
The libraries is in like is in the software. So your phone runs on an operating system, which is it's a program that runs, and so as that program changes, that's running your, the trading platform on your phone. And we need to make sure that everything is still compatible to make the seamless user experience.
Yeah, I got it. All right. Any up and coming things that you could be at liberty to talk about that could be on the horizon? And we didn't rehearse this, so you could say no
Yeah.
if that's if,
No, it's we always have things coming down the pipe. It's always, and again now with retail, it's always about that user experience, and it's always focused towards that. How do we make it a better user experience for the customer? So that's all I'm going to say is up to that point, but it's coming down the pipe, and what we have coming is exciting. So it's been absolutely a blast.
yeah, no, for sure. I've occasionally get a peek behind the curtain, so I know some things. You obviously know a lot more because you're part of the architecture team, right? If you is this would you call it that the architecture team?
Yeah, I'm involved in everything that goes on to some degree. I have, the teams that I have under me, they do a great job supporting and building out the system. They make me look good, which is great, but it's we got a lot coming. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I have Mike Burke and Tom Schneider to make me look good, and Kevin and Tim and Jason. So I have it easy. I have it easier than you. Oh my God. So do you go to the Chicago office, or where do you go every day?
Yeah, I spend a little bit of time in Chicago, maybe once a week, roughly. We still have an office out in the suburbs that we go to. I think once that closes, will be a lot of us. We do like a hybrid, at home, in the office. It's tough at home. Little kids running around. They just, I'm on a call. It's the only time they ever want to talk to me. I'm off the call.
How
They don't
many
want me.
how many you got now? You were on a roll for a while.
A little bit. 3. I've got 3.
All right.
So, yeah, Henry, Giada, and Luca, 8, 6, and 3. So we're in the thick of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. This is the fun years. Wait till they're teenagers, and
Right.
they're gonna make you miserable.
That's what I've heard. Bigger kids, bigger problems. But
Yeah.
no, it's been
That's
great.
funny.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My wife does a great job. I get the easy part. I get to go to work. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. And
Well, I'll tell you, I have the one thing I'm jealous of about you is I saw a picture of your Purdue Boilermakers man cave, and I got to say, it's impressive.
I try. I need to have. It's been. It's a rough. Being a fan has been pretty rough. Obviously, as of late, it's been great with the basketball team. But yeah, just need a place to go watch the Boilermakers sometimes. So
Yeah, that's good. What about that? Is that big guy gone? The big basketball guy? He was huge.
Yeah, I believe he went to Memphis. He got drafted, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. I hope him well, and was a great contributing factor. Obviously, when you have a 7-foot something guy that nobody can guard. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I wish you the best, except for against Indiana University.
Understood.
So,
Understood.
sorry.
That bucket sits with us, I believe, right now. So
yeah, we got to get it back. We got to get it back. Oh man. Well, I'm paying enough out of state tuition where I want to get that back.
Right.
Man. Any event. So I definitely thank you for being here with us today. I greatly appreciate it. Say hi to your mom and dad for me.
I will. Yeah, and I appreciate the invite. This has been great. Love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, if you have any secret info, just whisper in my ear, like behind the scenes.
I got nothing. I'm trying to figure that out. So
yeah, that's all. Are you in the Chicago office right now?
Yes, I am. All
right. It's so full. How'd you find a space?
I'm in a conference room right now. So the little room. So I was able to sneak away.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks, Joe. I really appreciate you being here, and look forward to talking to you again, and look forward to seeing you in Chicago.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. See you soon.
All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.